For the month of October in 2016, I worked at Party City as a seasonal job. It was pretty hectic for the Halloween season, obviously. I got stuck with the night shifts on weekdays since I didn't have early classes. The location I worked at changed its closing hours on weeknights to 11 p.m. during the Halloween season. My shift would start usually at 5 p.m., and I'd work till close. The rush would die after 9, and after 10, there would hardly be anyone left in the store, especially on weekdays. On my shift on the day in question, I started work at what was referred to as a costume grabber. I would be told on walkie-talkie what costume and what size to grab so that I could hand it to the customer and they could try it on. After it quieted down, and later on in my shift, I was told to start cleaning up the aisles, restocking, and bringing stuff either up from or down to the basement. That got tiring quickly because it was a lot of walking up and down stairs. Past 10, there were only about 4 of us still working. A girl named Maria working the cash register, Kyle cleaning aisles and stocking shelves, Ashley the supervisor for the night, and then me, doing the back and forth basement work. The basement was, at least, connected straight to the upstairs costume storage room, so it wasn't a super long walk. From the basement, I took a 10-minute breather, then went to continue lugging boxes from the basement up to the costume storage room. The lights of the basement had been turned off by someone, I figured Ashley. I flipped the light switch back on, and down into the basement I went. As I was lifting a box of girls' costumes, I heard something fall on the other side of the basement. Not to make you think this basement was really big. It was just one big circle full of boxes with a big shelf in the middle. I put down the box I was holding and slowly peered my head around the shelf. There was someone in a white hooded robe costume with a scary monster mask. Of course, I jumped back at first. Then I laughed, saying, "You got me." Whichever of my coworkers was in the costume didn't speak though. They just tilted their head to the side a bit, as if they were still messing with me. I had a feeling it was Ashley at first. Even though she would supervise some nights, she was a clown. But then, I realized this person was way too tall to be Ashley. I tried approaching him to remove the mask. He just backed away from me though. Then I looked down at the boots on his shoes, the dirty heavy work boots that I knew for a fact Kyle wasn't wearing. I started getting the shivers. I went back up the stairs without running to avoid suspicion. I shut the basement door and went straight to Ashley, who was talking to Maria by the register. I asked, "Where's Kyle?" And he literally called, "What's up?" from a nearby aisle. That's when panic set in. I asked if there was anyone else working that night. She said everyone went home. So I told her someone was in the basement in a costume who didn't belong there. Kyle and Ashley came with me to the basement so I could prove it to them. But like any cliché horror scenario, whoever was down there was gone. There was a back exit in the upstairs costume room for unloading truck shipments. It was possible the intruder exited through there. Ashley sped through the security footage of the past hour and didn't see anyone enter the costume room except for me. But there wasn't a camera in the basement or the actual costume room itself to check that. Part of me felt like it was a prank and that if I went back down there, I'd find the person in the costume again. But my job was my job, and I had to get back down there to continue stocking the costume room. When I got back down there, I once again picked up the box of girls' costumes I originally was trying to bring up, got it to the stairs, and stopped because I thought I may have heard the noise of a small plastic bag being slightly crumpled. Of course, I didn't want to stay down there to find out alone. I wasn't getting paid enough. My shift was almost over, so I lugged the heavy box up the stairs, dropped it in the costume room, and went back to the doorway of the basement to shut off the light. Before I did, I looked down the staircase, and at the bottom was that person in the white robe costume again, only this time, minus the mask. I saw his face, his smiling face looking up at me. I slammed the door shut and ran out to Ashley and the rest, screaming for help. They came as fast as they could to the costume room, but the back exit door inside was wide open, as was the basement door. This time, for real, he was gone. The one camera on the outside delivery area didn't even catch him. I don't really know if that intruder managed to steal anything other than the costume he was wearing. For all I know, it could have been just one big Halloween prank, Or he might have been in there looking to actually hurt someone. For all I knew, it was an armed robber though, and I treated the situation as though my life were in danger.